Raiders, bitch! Welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast, your go-to source for everything on the Las Vegas Raiders. Whether you're a diehard motherfucker like me, just getting to know Raider Nation, our passionate hosts are here to bring you all the excitement on Raiders football. I'm Shit Show Joe, and welcome to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. Let's go, Raiders! If not, fuck your team.
All right, welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Raider Will, and I am here with my boy, Tony B.
What's
from
happening?
TBA Spokane.
You already know Spokane in the building. 509. Let's go get it.
Yes, sir. And today, guys, in today's episode, what we're going to talk is, what we got expectations for the running back room, who we believe is going to step up in that role in the linebacker room behind Spillane and Diablo, sophomore players that will break out, and Raider events. So let's get right into it, baby. Tony B, we know that, we got Luke Getzi coming in, offensive coordinator, known for pounding the rock. He's known for being physical up front, having guys up front. I think they were, what was their offensive rank? 7th or something like that, or 2nd in the league, I believe. Sorry, at 141 yards a game. But I mean, they got crazy numbers on the ground. Now, with that happening, Tony B, we expect that running back room to be exploding, to have big numbers, to come out and make sure that, they're making a splash. So, what are your expectations this year for the running back room? And give me some names that we might not expect that might make a big splash.
My thing is like, I like the fact that I feel like we don't have a 1 and a 2 back. We have a 1 and a 1, like a 1.5. Like, he's not like Madison is going to be the surprise of the running back room, I believe, because I mean he's coming in under the radar. He doesn't have to be the guy, so he's able to kind of give off some of the responsibilities and the pressures of having to be that every down back kind of guy. So I think Madison's going to come in and have a surprisingly good year in like a secondary role where we're running a 2-back set or something where we can do multiple looks with different backs and keep them guessing. So Madison, I believe, is going to be the surprise of the running back room.
Man, that's super interesting that you brought up the fact that Luke Getzi likes to use multiple running back sets, all right? When you look at his personnel groupings, guys, he likes to use multiple tight ends. He likes to use multiple running backs, all right? 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end. That's his heaviest. He uses that 57% of the time. Now, 12 personnel, 1 tight end, 2 backs, right? You said, 1-2 punch in the backfield. He uses that 23.2%, which is 8th in the league. And then using 13 personnel, which is 1 running back, multiple tight ends, he uses that 11%, and that's 7th in the league. So when you're like, a guy that's going to bring in multiple running backs, multiple looks, 22 personnel, he's 7th in the league, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. So you're right. It's like ball distribution is going to be incredible because we got Zamir White, which, in my opinion, last year, man, he showed a lot in the games that he did play. And I know that we saw him hit that hole hard, man. He's a really solid runner. And when he hits that hole, that he's north-south and he gets downhill fast and he is physical. With Madison, man, what I like is his speed. So do you guys remember the old school Giants? Like, when they had lightning.
Tell me you're going to say Brandon Jacobs.
Exactly. And
I was just going to say he's a smaller, faster, but he runs like Brandon Jacobs.
And that's where I'm like, okay, so you got 2 guys. You got thunder and lightning. You got a physical guy and a quick guy, right? So when you get those guys paired up in the backfield, they can do different things, man. And that's where even Amir Abdullah coming right? He'll be that third down back that catches the ball out of the backfield.
Right.
And if you see Luke Getzi's scheme, man, running backs do a lot of different things. And this running back by committee, even though a lot of people are like, we don't have that one workhorse back, Tony, we have a lot of guys that could do a lot of different things and have a lot of different abilities.
Right. Yeah, and we don't have this. Like you were saying, the multiple abilities that they have, they all have different like strengths and weaknesses, and so like that's what they can pick and choose, and it's going to be very good because if we're needing power, we go this way. If we're needing a little more speed, we're going this way. But by doing and switching back and forth, we're not giving up a tremendous loss of talent in between. Like there's still that good talent if we go fast, small ball kind of thing, and if we go hard nose, smash mouth, we can do that too.
No. No. And Tony, it's like you said, multiple talents, multiple differences. And I believe a guy like Luke Getzi, he's really going to look into that and say, hey, man, what can I do to maximize every single player here and make sure that he's getting the maximum amount of touches in the way that I want him to get them, right? As we said, hey, he's an outside zone guy. He does multiple sets. He does different things. And I believe it's like you said, man, when you got a stable of backs back there that have all those different abilities, man, just because one guy has a shortcoming right here doesn't mean you don't have another guy that you can be like, hey, man, Petey, get in there. Make it happen, baby.
Next guy up. Let's go.
Yes, sir. So let me get your bold predictions for the running back room. All right, Tony B, give me them bold predictions, baby.
Oh, man. I think the combined yardage from the two first, the White and Madison, I think they'll be the highest running two-back set in the league. We're setting up for a nasty run game, and we got two guys that can run the ball, and I think we got the whole like the 1-2 punch, if you want to say it. So I say the combined from the top two backs will lead the league in rushing. That's pretty bold.
Wow. Bold prediction by Tony B. They had 1-2 punch leading the way in the league. Now, I'm going to give you my bold prediction, okay? All right, Raider Nation, listen up. I know you're crying a little bit about Josh Jacobs leaving, about him packing his bags and going up north. But guess what? Big Daddy Zamir White has come here and he's going to fill you up your bag of jolly joys, baby. Because this dude is going to make you not miss Josh Jacobs. Guys, I really feel like we found something in this kid that he is going to be hungry. Yes, I know that his career might be shorter. He has 2 ACLs, he has stuff like this. But I really feel like this year, even though Josh Jacobs leaves, goes to the Packers, our run game is actually going to be better this year. We're going to be able to pound the rock, and it's not going to be because, hey, you got Josh Jacobs. It's going to be because the offensive line is working well. The running back is working well. And if you guys saw anything last year, okay, when Zamir White came into the game, he looked good. He looked like he was in sync with the offensive line. He was reading the right gap. He was hitting it hard. He was making big plays. And that's why my bold prediction is that we will not be missing Josh Jacobs this year. So, mark that down, Tony B. Yo, Zamir White. I think Zamir White is going to have 1,000-yard season.
Oh, Gary, I don't, barring any or too many shared looks, I see that happening because, like I said, I think we might have two. Like,
So
never
you
know.
think we
Like,
might have two 1,000-yard rushers?
that would be pretty bold. No, or or one's gonna go over and one's gonna be close.
I can
Both
see that.
doable.
Okay. Now, we didn't touch on the two guys on the lower side of the depth chart, which was Amir Abdullah and Dylan Labe. But I'm going to tell you also, okay, Dylan Labe is going to make a big impact for Raider Nation on special teams this year. This guy is an underrated McCaffrey type. People are sleeping on this dude, Tony. This guy has come into OTAs, taken his place, and said, "Yo, I'm gonna make this happen." He's making punt returns look easy. He's making kickoffs look smooth. So I think this guy's another guy that's gonna come in, and he might be a sleeper. What are your thoughts on Dylan Labe, bro?
I definitely see his impact being more on the special teams in the return game. That's for sure. But we're gonna be carrying a lot of backs. I see him, So if that's where he's gonna get his on field time, then he shines there and waits his turn and gets those reps. That DeAndre, that Washington type running back, kind of does what he needs to do when it's his turn, but just doesn't get enough looks to be comfortable out there. So punt returns, kick returns, there you go.
No, absolutely. And I think that's where he'll make a big impact. And watch out. Like I said, he might be a breakout player as well. So we're going to move on to the linebackers. Tony, we've all known that, hey, I think this year, Spillane established himself as the premier linebacker for the Raiders. I mean, like, honestly, he is our top dog in my opinion. Divine Diablo, his best season as a Raider, hands down playing linebacker, a sideline to sideline kid. But you know that, hey, you need that third guy, that guy that's going to step in. We play a lot of nickel. I'm going to share the depth chart with you right now, okay? So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. And on the depth chart, so, okay, we got Amari Burnley, who we selected in the 6th round last year. We got Tommy Eichenberg, who we selected in the 5th round this year. We got Kanai Mauga, who I believe was a UDFA from last year. We got Luke Masterson, and we got Darian Butler. Out of those guys, who do you expect to establish themselves as our third linebacker and come in and make an impact for the Raiders?
Luke Masterson at the beginning, I believe, will be that third guy. But I believe one of the two rookies that you mentioned will be in that spot later on in the season. But because they'll just slowly put them in there and get their feet wet and then hit the ground running and be ready to go. But so yeah, I think Masterson at the beginning, but one of the two rookies is definitely at the end.
So last year it was Amari Burnley that was a rookie. This year is Tommy Eichenberg. Who do you predict
I think
will be the
time
guy?
or Eichenberg then. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh man, you know what? I love that pick, Tony B. I mean, like, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe so as well. When I look at this roster and I look at the guys that we have, Luke Masterson is going to be the guy that's going to start initially there. And you know what? I like what Luke does. He has a ton of snaps, a ton of experience. And I'd be like, I think he's better at, pass pro or not pass pro, at, coverage. He's a better coverage guy. But the guy that I'm most excited to see grow and develop is this year's 5th-round pick, Tommy freaking Eichenberg, man. That dude is a beast. I mean, the way that he plays and the way that he played at, at at Ohio, man, it's just disgusting, man. And I believe that he's gonna
Plays
bring that
nasty.
tenacity, man. I just see him bringing that tenacity. I see him bringing that nastiness to our team, and just that attitude that he has, to me, really encompasses what it is to be a Raider. A guy that's tough, a guy that's nasty, a guy that's an underdog. That, to me, is a Raider. And he's going to come here and make his mark. And I tell you what, man, this kid was like a 3rd-round pick, and we picked him up in the 5th round. I believe that Tommy had that type of talent, man. Yeah, he's not that fast, but he's playing in the box, man. And you can, you can't teach speed, but you can work on it. And he can anticipate stuff. So I'm really excited about Tommy Eichenberg, just like you said, man. I mean, like, I know that you can probably tell I'm a little bit pumped up, but
man, I mean, one of the good things about this show and other podcasts that are on there is it keeps us in the mix, per se, and wanting to, like, Dave, don't get me wrong, day by day, every day, even when we weren't doing these, you're wanting Raider football. But, like, sometimes it kind of goes under, like, what I like to call, like, chapter members we have the chapters, and you have members that you see on every Sunday, but you don't see them in the off season. So that's why I went to doing, like, monthly events. And I said, I had a couple members, and they set up, and they're planning monthly events. And it's because we call them seasonal homies. And so we don't want seasonal homies. We want year-round homies. And when you get to be year-round homies, the desire to get it back on football Sunday is so great that you sit back on these days and you're just like, I'm ready to put, I don't care if it's a preseason game. I want to see silver and black on the field, and I want to be able to start. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, it's preseason. Like, maybe I won't go to a preseason game because maybe, like, spending regular season money on a practice or on a preseason game is not always, financially able for myself. I want to save it for the ones that the stats count. But, like, I sit back and I watch and I analyze the game, like I look and I watch the different game film. I might not be the greatest with the stats and the names and the numbers, but I watch and I see, like, position groups play. Like, I'll watch it back and I'll watch the lineman on the plays. And then I'll go back and I'll watch the same play again and I'll watch it on the DB. Like, I'll go back and, I'll scroll back and forth. And yeah, you got the side angle, so you don't get to see 100%, but I'm watching different intangibles that might be needed on Sunday when we actually need them to play. So I use it for what are we going to have kind of days. So.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, like, if you look at it this year, man, and I'm just going to talk in general terms of the talent on the team, okay? This year, this team is super talented. If you're not watching these preseason games, then you're going to sleep on a dude that's going to surprise you, man. We are stacked. I mean, like, people really haven't looked at the roster. They look at one position group. They
Right.
look at our quarterback position, okay? And that's where it's like, okay, yeah, we're not strong there. We already know that. But look at every other position group on the roster and tell me you don't see a guy there's a potential star or that there's a suitable guy that can take the job and get it done. Bro, we're loaded. So that's where I'm like, it makes it excited for a guy like me that I watch preseason. I cheer for these rookies because I mean, like, I was a guy just like them that I wanted to live that dream. I wanted to follow it. And you cheer for those guys. You know, the guys that, hey, in the fourth quarter, like, hey, Palumao, that's a great example last, right? Everybody fell in love with them. Everybody was talking about how, you know, he's Palumalu's nephew and that he has the bloodline and that he's a great kid and that he has all the talent. Look at him now, man. He's growing, he's developing. He's his second year with the Raiders. He's about to become a crucial player. You know, it's exciting and it's great to see that our roster isn't just so top heavy
We
that
got
we're going to
depth
lose. Yeah.
and a
We
lot of
got
positions.
and we have youth, Tony. We have
Yes,
depth and we have a ton of youth. I'd be
young
like,
depth.
look at the guy. Even at key positions, we're young, man. I'd be like, we are just young across the board. We have a ton load of talent, a ton load of guys with ability that can make it happen. So that's what makes it exciting for me as a Raiders fan, as a player, as a coach, as a guy that really sees like, yo, the potential in what Raider Nation can do. So, or not Raider Nation, in what the Raiders can do, and the potential in Raider Nation.
Right.
Yeah, we already know. So, Tone,
Potential.
now that we've talked about potential and, you know, the ability that we have, the coaches, to exploit it and try to make it better, right? Let's look at last year's draft picks, and I want you to give me your prediction for a bold sophomore breakout play, all right? I'm going to give you the list here. I'm going to share my screen again.
I'm
I'm going
kind
to
of
read it out
close.
to you. I'm going to read it to you, all right? In the first round last year, we selected Tyree Wilson. In the second round, we selected Michael Mayer. In the third round, we got defensive tackle Byron Young. In the third round, fourth pick, we got Trey Tucker. In the fourth round, our fifth pick, we got Jacory and Bennett. In the fourth round, with our sixth pick, we got Aiden O'Connell. In the fifth round, with our seventh pick, we got Christopher Smith. In the sixth round, with our seventh pick, we got Amari Burnley. And in the seventh round, in the seventh round, we got our last pick. That's the Jade Silvera. So again, Tyree Wilson, Michael Mayer, Byron Young, Trey Tucker, Jacory and Bennett, Aiden O'Connell, Christopher Smith, Amari Burnley, and Nestor Jade Silvera. So who do you got, Tony B?
My bold sophomore breakout player is gonna be the guy that leads us to the playoffs and beyond, and that will be our starting quarterback, Aiden O'Connell. I think by that time, he'll be the one that breaks out. I guess you can say he might not. I think when they go to him, he'll be ready. Everybody I'm first to say I wasn't really hype on the train, but it takes years to get there sometimes, and there needs to be advancement and progression, and I think he'll have that. And when he gets that, he'll he'll be he'll be hard to deal with. He's going to be a good quarterback. I don't know if he'll be the starter at the beginning, but he'll be the starter at the end when we win that playoff game.
Well, and you know what? I like that pick, Cody. I really like that pick because I really feel like last year, Aiden O'Connell was put in a tough position. Okay, when he came into that game, uh, with Josh McDaniels with McDoofus calling the game, when they made the switch with him and Jimmy Garoppolo, I really feel like he wasn't set up for success. He was set up for failure. They didn't adjust the playbook. They didn't adjust the play calls. And I think McDaniels was just trying to make it look like, hey, you guys are wrong. I'm right. I know what these guys can do, and he can't do this. and I'm going to make it happen, and it's just the way I do things. And it backfired on him, and obviously we see where the heck he's at now. Shit can. And, the kid got given a raw deal. So I can definitely see what you're talking about and the potential for Aiden O'Connell to be the breakout player of the year. Now, for me, I'm going to give you two guys, all right? I'm going to give you one guy offensively and one guy defensively.
Hey, I didn't know we were giving out two guys. I had a second guy too.
Okay, all right.
No,
Now I'm just no. Now you got it, Tony. Give me your second guy. Has to be
you go one. No. You go one, and then I'll go my other.
Okay, you went offense. I'm gonna go defense. Okay, so my breakout player. Okay, and I feel right now that he's gonna be a breakout player because the coaching staff is trusting him because we're not bringing in outside guys to cover this position.
Right.
Okay. And for me, it's going to be Jacory and Bennett. Jacory and Bennett on defense is a guy that is going to break out because of the enormous pressure that's on him right now. And he's going to get the reps. And from what I'm hearing about OTAs in him, he's looking good. He's looking confident. He's looking smoother. He's understanding the process. And guys, again, this is another guy that I believe we got at a sleeper pick. We picked him up in the 4th round. Yeah, he had some injury issues. But you pick up a guy in the 4th round, that's a quality pick that is now going to be feeling healthy, has the 2nd year in the league. And Tony, after your 1st year in the league, you get in that weight room, you get thicker, you get stronger, you get faster. I mean, everything comes into full effect. And I believe that's why Jacory and Bennett is going to be the defensive breakout player of the year for the Raiders. Now, Tony B, give me.
I'm staying on offense.
Your guy.
I'm going Mayor. I'm going Mayor.
Right.
And the reason why I'm going Mayor is because the addition of Bowers is going to open up so much in that tight end game plan scheme, I guess you could say. So I think we're gonna have I hate to bring them up, but the Patriots, when they had Hernandez and Gronk and they ran the 2 tight end sets, and you were wondering who this game was going to be the breakout guy this game and who was going to get the looks, and they back and forth, they were always, right. And then of course Gronk took off and had a Hall of Fame career. But I see that being a very good addition to his game plan. Like he was probably happy. Yeah, he's got competition now, but now he's got competition now. So
no, absolutely, man. And I mean, I can see Michael Mara being a breakout player. If you look at Luke Getzi's stats, I mean, when he brought in the 2 years before, with Cole Kmet, he was there. He only had 91 receptions for 871 yards and 2 touchdowns. The 2 years during Getzi's stay, he had 123 receptions for 1,263 yards and 13 tutties. So obviously, man, the stats boosted up for the tight end. And I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head that everybody's looking at all these other pieces and saying, hey, man, you got Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, you got, Zamir White, you got all these guys that can make an impact at all those other positions. So let me give you a guy that is a sleeper pick on offense. And I'm going to tell you right now, this guy has come into OTAs and just turned it on fire. You have AP talking about him, right? You have all the other coaches talking about him, about how good he is looking in OTAs. We'll run those clips right now. All right. And now you saw those clips from those coaches. Guys, the name of the game is Trey Tucker, baby. This guy is going to make an offensive explosion this year. Hey, I cannot wait to see what Luke Getzi does with this guy. I see Luke Getzi's offense, man. He runs a ton of reverses with the wide receivers. He does a ton of wide receiver screens, and he stretches the field vertically. These are all things that Trey Tucker excels in. And guess what? He comes into OTAs. People are saying he's looking a little bit thicker, a little bit faster, a little bit smoother. He is looking gold like butter, baby. So, hey, I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if you say Trey Tucker just explode this year as our third wide receiver. Because everybody's going to be thinking about Devontae, about Jacoby Meyers, about, Michael Mayer. Then you got freaking Brock Bowers. I mean, this is the fifth guy on the depth chart on offense, Tony. I mean,
And you
defensively,
can't double everybody.
Exactly. Defensively, you're not going to really plan for this guy. You're not going to be like, oh, you know what? We're going to take Trey Tucker away and leave Devontae Adams one-on-one. I mean, like, it's just not going to happen. I don't see that happening with Jacoby Meyers. I don't see that happening with Michael Meyers. I don't even see that or happening with Brock Bowers. I mean, all of those guys are going to have respect. And here comes Trey Tucker, incognito, all pure speed, all pure heart. I mean, like, the Dolphins might have the cheetah, but man, we might as well we got the Jaguar.
Right.
So we might as well unleash him, man. And I see Luke Getzi's offense, and I'm telling you right now, man, Trey Tucker is going to have an explosive offensive year. All right, brother. So, hey, now, guys, we are going to move on to the last part of our show. And, guys, what we got today is Raider events. Tony B, what do you got for me today, baby?
Well, August 17th, Tacoma, Washington, Tidlow Park, TBH Seattle presents the 5th annual Northwest Black TBH Blackout. We got multiple chapters making it in. We'll have a really nice full president's picture to take part. We have it's at, like I said, Tidlow Park in Tacoma, Washington. We'll be posting on all our social media outlets as it gets closer. I just can't. I mean, it's just enough to get back in the flow of things, and it's week 2 of the preseason, and we play that day, so we'll have a watch party location while we are in the area. TBH West Coast, we got TBH Lovelock, TBH Reno, TBH Portland, Seattle, Spokane. Other clubs will probably make it as well, because they have some other Raider clubs in the different areas, with like the Northwest Raider Booster Club. You got like the Wrecking Crew. You got gosh, there's quite a few in the Portland area as well. So it's gonna be a great time. Come on out, break bread, and let's kick the season off right.
Yes, sir. And you know what, Tony? You also got to let them know that, guys, we'll be up there. We'll be doing some live streaming. We'll be doing some stuff like that. We'll be doing giveaways. We have flags. We have other, Raider swag that we'll be giving away. You guys just let us know that you guys are following us, that you guys are, fans or whatever, and you guys will get a little bit something. We will put you guys on the show, and it's going to be a great time. Also, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what we can do is we could do a post before event show where we'll say a certain phrase or keyword that you must come up to us while we're at the event, and then you would get said item. If you're one of, depending on how many items we get, we will be having a raffle for a Nevada label Woodson's whiskey bottle. We'll have, and that's for all members and all attendees that are 21 and over. Can be able to do that. That'll be kind of it's the profits go to TBH Seattle, and but like the bottle came from TBH Reno. TBH West Coast has helped with that, as well as TBH Spokane will be kind of all coming together to do the raffle for them. So just let you guys know, we'll be selling the tickets. We'll be running the raffle. We're going to keep it a little bit separate because they have other raffles going on, and I don't want people to think that those raffle tickets will go into the fund for the bottle. So you never know. We might be able to take on show, maybe take Venmo payments for need not be present to win. Let's just try to raise some good money for some good people in TBH Seattle, and that's really the reason we're doing this. It's not for to get a local homie the bottle, which will be great if a local person wins it. But if we can make them the most money, I don't mind having to make that work. So we'll figure something out, but it'll be good stuff. Good stuff. Details pending, to be determined.
To be determined on the raffle from Tony B. Yo, so guys, make sure you guys click like, you guys click subscribe, you guys click share, you guys comment. Make sure you guys hit Tony B on all his social media sites. He on Facebook, he is Tony Raider Bova.
Tony Bova.
Oh, Raider Tony Bova. Then on Instagram, he is the Black Hole Spokane. So make sure you guys follow his post. Make sure you guys pay attention because he's going to be the one posting about the raffle, letting you guys know what the rules are, what the regulations, and how that's going to be handled. Guys, you guys can follow me at the Silver and Black Radio Podcast on Instagram, on the Silver and Black Radio Podcast on Facebook, on X, and pretty much any social media site. And again, guys, thank you guys for listening. Raider Nation, it's all about one team. It's all about one nation. It's all about the
Raiders.